Come on. We are live. We are live. I'm Lynn Serrano, and you are?
I'm Brian.
And we are real and raw. So we will be right back after this. That sounds like a nightly show kind of jazz. What do you think, Brian?
Oh yeah, it's like somebody just gets up on stage and just with a whole bunch of people they don't know and just go at it for like a half hour. Create something.
I could see you doing that too. That would be so cool.
Not play an instrument. No, nobody wants to hear that.
No, but dance and get jiggy up there dancing.
Is that what the kids are calling it now? Jiggy, getting jiggy with it.
I don't know. That's what I'm calling it.
All right.
Oh my goodness. Hi, Darlene. Yeah, we
Hey,
are
Darlene.
live. We are definitely live. So good to see you. So yeah, today's topic is how much is too much of anything? I kind of like that.
What was your inspiration for it?
And hi, Dora. Welcome to.
Hey, Dora.
It's just that there's always too much going on or not too much going on, but when you realize it's an inside thing, it's as much or as little as you make it to be.
Correct.
And so, and there's the one and only
Mr.
Scott Rickard. I love having you here, Rickard.
There we go.
My rolling of the R's, I wasn't. Oh, and my goodness, Ricky's here, and that is his favorite show, Brian. He's trying to like petition that we're like Monday through Friday again. He's like, you gotta have a show with Brian. It's like, oh my goodness, we're gonna have to cut our clips and put them all shorter or something.
Yeah, we'll have to make it appear like a show every day, but it's really not.
Yeah, don't tell them the magic of podcasting. Which, speaking of podcasting, Brian, I want to mention that we have, I think today, live somewheres in Podland. We do have technically a podcast now.
Nice.
It's really a podcast. Just checking, it's checking the gaps. I mean, we have our RSS feed, whatever, which was, we are official, but
we're legitimate.
Officially, though, the director here doesn't know where all we're at, but we're in a lot of places right now, technically.
Just don't press that button, that certain button that's labeled in red. Don't press that one. Don't do it.
Oh my gosh, Ryan, you always just make me laugh so hard.
She's got the red pen. I wonder if she's got that big red button that says, don't push this.
You're making me turn red. And
oh my God, look at that face, everyone. Everybody joining us. Look at that. Look at that. Look at Lynn's red face. It's been a while since we've got her to do that.
Oh my gosh.
Let's keep going. But we haven't broke our record, though, because our record was backstage. So, wow, I wish you would have told me sooner.
Actually, told you what sooner? The podcast or what? Actually, it's funny because I've been doing it on the down low, and I'm at actually every one of the shows that I'm in with all the different co-hosts. I've been uploading those, and that is a lot of work. And that's one of the things that some people do or don't do and whatever. So I'm trying to get a rhythm to it and whatnot. Don't push the red button.
100%. Yep.
You know what they say? Don't look at that red elephant or the red elephant. What are you going to do? You're going to look at the red elephant. So
I can only imagine it's got like red electrical tape and it says do not push or whatever. It's like, but it's always tempting because it attracts your attention. So
yeah. So, when you ask me what's up with what made me pick that, there's just a lot of things. I mean, I'm so excited about, Debbie and I will have, she's starting her new show and I'm producing, and Ken Walls will be her first guest. And
that's cool.
We just spent time doing her stage and her intro and her outro, and it was great. And so I'm excited because eventually Brian soon, sometime in May, I think, we're going to try to launch his show.
Yeah.
Again,
it won't be an interview style show. It'll be informative, about thought-provoking wedding topics. So
and I love that. So if you guys get any questions for wedding topics or anything, Brian, follow him, get him to, I'm sure he would tackle those topics right away.
There's such a there's such an opportunity in the marketplace to just help people get their thinking right. I'm not saying that their thinking is off, but I think that there's a lot of settling going on, by the use of how much we consume information online and friends and everybody, especially for the ladies, that when they're getting married, they have every friend and every woman that they know chiming in about ideas and this and that, and it can get overwhelming at times, but how much of it is actually legitimate to you? You know what I mean? So.
Hey, Dennis Barry. So glad I've known him since 6th grade, since from when I was a Long Island girl, had a bad Long Island accent, and my name was Eileen. Poor guy later had to get used to calling me Lynn. So I'm glad that he's here. So, and no, don't ask him any questions. No, just kidding.
Nope.
But seriously, and I'm glad you said something about the provoking, and that's what we do for shows is topics, is we try not to sway people. And Dora's going to know what I'm talking about here, but I will say this. What do you say? Ask away.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll probably put a price there, you guys.
Bring it on live on TV or live on live stream.
Right. But no, seriously, and podcast now. But seriously, the thing is that when we are hearing shows or hearing anything, or we're in a club or we're into these different things, it's sad that sometimes there isn't everyone flows and nobody goes against the grain to ask a question that's inappropriate. And
Correct.
I'm not going to name any industries or anything like that, but I'm just saying that there are too much that everybody just gets in their mindsets and their groups, and then all of a sudden nobody has a something that doesn't fit the mold. They don't ask the question,
Right.
I mean, and I don't like to conform on any of that.
Well, and for me, I'm always going to be the type of person that gets to the source of whatever it is that they're trying to do. And it's like the only way that I don't even know if I can help people. And the only way that I'm going to know that if I can is by a series of power questions or questions that get to the source of why they're looking. I mean, even when a couple gets married, a valid question is, why are you doing it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they're like, shit, I don't know neither. I don't know why I'm marrying her.
Instead of it being like, like autopilot where somebody reaches out, in a business environment, and it's like, okay, well, a great question to have, especially if you have a niche or if you have an established clientele, is we all know that, Jerry, 100%.
I love that. And we love it. We love it. And that's the thing. I mean, I don't like conforming to the fact that you can't ask an intelligent questions, because we are very intelligent people. Right. And yet we dummy up just to follow the flock. And
or you got to hold back because you don't want to ask questions based on, like, oh my God, how am I going to be perceived or whatever. But if you're leaning in and asking a lot of good questions, a person would be a fool not to listen to you.
Brian, his question, I think he should be asking. It's too late to ask by then. And I think that's what Brian does. That's what Brian does, is he's like, wait, let's stop. Like, why are we doing this? Why are you doing this? I mean, shoot, if you're going to have a wedding with Brian, I think that's what we got along with at first, is the fact that I did bridal and bachelorette parties for lingerie before they got married. People would invite me to the wedding. I'm like, I don't think you're going to make it. I don't want to. I don't want to be, back in the day, they said, if there's anybody that doesn't think that these people should get married, speak now or forever hold your peace. I'd be the one bringing that back in. I'm like, I'm not,
Yeah. I find that there's such a need in the marketplace for actually like straight talk about weddings, right? You don't oust anybody or whatever. You don't attack anybody, but you get right down to the real reasons why people make decisions. And if the outcome and results that they don't want are what they receive, well, then it should go back to what they did or didn't do in the beginning. 37 years in a.
And I still ask the questions. Now we got to really read this stuff, Brian, because people on the podcast be like, what the heck happened? I didn't see it.
Yeah.
So we really got to talk about what we're doing now. It's kind of fun.
For everybody that is listening to this, Scott, one of our loyal listeners, put a comment in there. 37 years, and I still ask the question of why he got married. So, yeah.
But hey, he's doing it right. Or maybe it's because he hasn't asked the questions. I don't know. But we're not here to deal with any of that. Again, it's not that I tiptoe around any different topic or anything like that, but I really love playing the devil advocate. I really like saying I can remove myself from the situation and see it from all different angles, because depending on what angle you are at, you're going to see an F on my bottle and say whatever, or you're going to see Fuji, or you're going to see FU or whatever. And it's your own interpretation. And that's where the world goes wrong, because nobody says, well, Brian, how did you mean that? Or what did you mean by that? They don't ask the questions. And then they never know.
And I don't think that people are, and challenge it might be a little bit of a stronger word, but it's like to really bring out what's going on up in here about whatever it is that they're looking to create, right?
Yeah.
Because all the answers are there, but obviously in order for somebody to get to that without manipulation, influence, control, just having a straight up conversation about, hey, if you trust me and you like me and I like you and all of that, it's like, okay, let's talk about this on a deeper level, because this is not a fight conversation. If you're truly committed to getting the results you want.
Yeah. So
if you're really willing to do the work to get there, just like on ourselves or for a project.
Right. That's just like, the topic we have today. How much is too much of anything? I mean, for me, my ex-boyfriend Ricky that's watching there, he's like, Lynn, you don't have a problem being by yourself. I'm like, yeah, because I'm an introvert. But yet I love being with people. But like 8 or 9 o'clock at night, man, I'm like, yo, I gotta power down. I'm like, I love giving energy and all that stuff, but I just need my space, and just too much is too much. And Dora says, without manipulation. Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Without manipulation, and that's one way, or, whether it's good or bad, there's always something about manipulation that someone's trying to get over on somebody else.
I wait too long.
And then
yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, Ricky said, my problem is I wait too long and then it's too late. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. The store's closed. It's time to leave the store because he's late. Yeah. But we're not going there. That'll be another show. But thank you, Ricky, for chiming in. I appreciate you. But seriously, it's one of those things you have to ask yourself that question. How much is too much of anything? Too much time spent on one project? I mean, I get to be such a perfectionist on some graphics and things that I'm doing. And I'm like, I don't allow myself to waste that valuable time. When it's good. And you go with it, and overthinking things is just wasting valuable time.
Well,
and give you,
and I think it's now it's more we're more sensitive now than ever before, because I mean there's so much that we can do behind the scenes, right? In our consultative world, in our coaching world, people don't have to be live in order to get a piece of content anymore. It can be recorded, it can be video, it can be done in advance, and I think that if there are so many different layers to this question, because you could take it on literally for every part of your life, whether it's a passion, it's a hobby, it's a project of some kind, right? But then even like, how much is too much education? How much is too much money in the bank? I mean, a majority of this revolves around everything else besides money, right? Because we just, hey, there she is.
My other co-host.
Well, yeah. And it's like, even like how much is too much of anything? Like when it comes to cluttering, when it comes to, I've got too many, I don't know, I got too many pieces of gear, I got too much technology, I got whatever, and in my humble opinion, it's a gut check, but it also has to be something that goes to your core, like you thought it through, but you also have to be wanting to take action. You can't just say it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's our thoughts are powerful, but the emotions that go with it's really important to know.
Mm-hmm.
Because if your first gut emotion is to say, then you better listen. You can't be all excited and have that pause. That pause is going to be longer than the excitement, because it's going to be like, I told you so, we shouldn't have done that or this or that. And that's where we're not listening to ourselves. We got to realize that the person that we're with 24/7 till the day we die is ourselves. Because you go to the movies, you go with somebody, but you're watching the movie yourself. It's your perspective. There just happen to be other people around. Energy's everywhere, and
and keep in mind that this whole question is a perception, is a point of view, right?
Right.
And everybody's going to have their own based on their makeup, their background, kids, no kids, married, divorced, single, whatever they've witnessed in life. This is a
Yep.
matter of perception. It's a matter of interpretation. There's no steadfast rule here, and
And it's
everybody's entitled to create that however they may.
and it's all based on your own opinion, your own experiences, because, or like Rex Sykes likes to say, he can't tell you what an orange really tastes like, because it could be a little first of all, each orange doesn't actually taste the same, right?
Correct.
Or orange juice, but it's also going to be a different experience for everybody. Nobody can really tell you how that tastes, in your taste buds, and whether it's sweet or bitter, because orange juice can be bitter too. I
Correct.
mean, so you never know. So the thing is, and I'm being more mindful lately to say, instead of, oh, I know what you're talking about, Brian, I'm finding myself to be more saying, I understand, meaning I understand what you're talking about, but I don't know the degree.
Correct.
We both lost a parent. So that doesn't mean I know how you felt or vice versa, but I understand what it is to lose a parent.
Correct.
So, it's definitely the way. And I think the way, if we're careful of the way we talk and the way we listen to our words, we can actually learn from our tonality and how we feel when we say those words.
Well, and I think another piece of that too that could get you into trouble is empathy. The reason why is because it's like, depending on if we know that person very well or if we don't, that could be a very slippery slope, because if you're just saying it to say it, you're really not helping that person at all, right?
Yeah. It's just like, for me, when someone passes away and everybody says I'm sorry, and I'm not saying anybody's wrong for saying I'm sorry, but I have a hard time to say I'm sorry, because to me, when I hear something sorry, you mean it, and you try to fix something, but I can't fix somebody losing somebody. And so I usually say, I wish I had the words to help, or I wish and I thoughts and prayers be with you. But I used to say stuff like, oh, I know how that feels, or I understand, I lost a pet too. And I was so naive saying that. And yet I didn't realize how bad that cut,
Right.
Again, you just don't know till you realize you don't know.
And in times like that, depending on the circumstance, the best thing somebody can do in terms of loss or whatever is just to be in action. You don't really need to say much when you take an action. Like, that the person's probably not going to be eating. That comes from our previous experience, right? Their life is going to be in shambles. It changed. And so what's the best thing you can do? Maybe get them some meals, right?
Yeah.
Have them delivered, do some catering, whatever. So you show your support and care in a different way that doesn't involve words.
Right. So it is really important for those things. Well, what do we have here? Dennis says,
I pray for you to get a place where you think of them, you smile.
Yeah.
To get to a place.
The memories. Yeah. That's a good one, Dennis. Thank you for saying that. Well, you know what? It's about that time where we just say it's a Friday, and and it's exciting. And we might tease the audience with this eventually, but once I have the podcast really running and flowing and knowing when it's going to come on and all that stuff, and I'll let you guys know about that. And Dennis is saying no. Once we get all that set, I think we'll probably move our podcast to about 20-25 minutes. I mean, that'll be cool, but right now we're just teasing and setting things up and getting going, and I'm just so excited because I always love talking to Brian, and usually we only talk like Thursday, you guys, like right before, what are we going to talk about? And then we'll figure it out because everything is unscripted. So we really appreciate you. Now, I'm excited about this. I did a new little intro, and I'm going to have this on the back of all my shows, I think, for now, until I'm getting more creative. I'm actually like, I really begrudgingly didn't want to learn another program, and yet I've been paying for it, and I'm like, I got to learn this. So I'm self-taught. And so I was pretty excited. This is really simple, but it's a big deal to me because I enjoyed it, and I look forward to whatever. And what does Ricky say? You need 5 days. You see, I told you said that.
Why did we have to prompt it?
You know what, though? I can fix things where we can catch up a year ago of things and do that 5 days a week and give you guys that. Again, it's a little work on my. Yeah,
There
it's
you
a
go.
little work on my part here, but again, again, how much is too much of anything, right?
Right.
Well, you guys have a great one. Is there anything you want to say before we leave, Brian?
No, I would anything that is anything that's taking you away from where you want to be, how you want to be, how you want to feel, what you want to do, and really creating barriers, like mental barriers. That's maybe somewhere to look at what you have too much of, right? Too much worry, too much fear, too much whatever, right? Because you're going to look out in the world, and the world's going to do what it's going to do. But anything that you feel, because it's all about feelings with this, it might be a place to look at. Those are my words. How about you?
Well, you know what? One thing we don't realize that we can never get back is time. And if you can
100%.
take a moment and realize how much time have you spent being too much of anything that just wasn't right to begin with. And any project, any hobbies, anything that you just knew, just value and ask yourself, was that time well spent, and do I want to continue to spend the time doing those specific things? And if you don't, then you need to evaluate that. And Ricky's asking how. Oh boy, Ricky, we gotta go. Anyways, but you guys, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate you. We love having you guys, and yeah, I can't wait for Brian to have his own cool show, because he's going to have a different co-host and stuff, and I'm just going to be a producer. So it's we're just teasing you with some future stuff ahead. So anyhow, for now, we wish you a good weekend. Here we go. Oh, somebody's calling me too.
Have a great weekend, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
Yep. Bye.